कुंज बिहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन महाराज की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. 11. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 3, chapter number 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha, and text number 11. Sa tvam asyam apatyani sadrushani atmano gunaihi utpadya शास धर्मेण गाम यज्ञैः पुरुषं यज सत्वम अस्यामपत्यानि सदृशान्यात्मनो गुणैः उत्पाद्य शासधर्मेण गाम यज्ञै पुरुषं यज सत्वमस्यामपत्यानि सदृशान्यात्मनो गुणैः उत्पाद्य शासधर्मेण गाम यज्ञैः पुरुषं यज सत्वमस्यामपत्यानि सदृशान्यात्मनो गुणैः उत्पाद्य शासधर्मेण गाम यज्ञैः पुरुषं यज। सत्वमस्यामपत्यानि Sadrishamatmano Utpadyaksha dharmena Nam yajnehi purusham yaja Sattvamasya patyani Sadrushanyatmano gunai Adhyashasa dharmena Nam yajnehi purusham yaja Sattvamasya patyani Sadrushanyatmano gunai Adhyashasa dharmena Sattvamasya patyani Sadrushanyatmano gunai Utpadya shasa dharmena Sattvamasya patyani Sadrushanyatmano gunai Utpadya shasa dharmena Nam yajnehi purusham yaja Mataji Sattvamasya patyani Purusham yaja Sattvamasya patyani Sadrushanyatmano gunai Utpadya shasa dharmena Nam yajnehi purusham yaja Sattvamasya patyani Sattvamasya Kamyasya purusham yaja So, therefore that obedient son, Tvam as you are, Asyam in her, Apatyani children, Sadrishani equally qualified, Atmanaha of yourself, Gunai with the characteristics, Utpadya having begotten, Shasa rule, Dharmena on the principles of devotional service, Gam the world, Yajnehi by sacrifices, Purusham the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yaja worship. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The translation: Since you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Rule the world in pursuance of the principles of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus worship the Lord by performances of yajna. The purport. The purpose of the material creation by Brahma is clearly described herein. Every human being should beget nice children in the womb of his wife, as a sacrifice for the purpose of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service. In the Vishnu Puran 3.8.9, it is stated, Varnashramacharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnuraradhyate Pantha Nanyat Tattoshakaranam. One can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, by proper discharge of the principles of Varna and Ashram. There is no alternative to pacifying the Lord by execution of the principles of the Varnashram system. Vishnu worship is the ultimate aim of human life. Those who take the license of married life for sense enjoyment must also take the responsibility to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. And the first stepping stone is the Varnashram Dharma system. Varnashram Dharma is the systematic institution for advancing in worship of Vishnu. However, if one directly engages in the process of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it may not be necessary to undergo the disciplinary system of Varnashram Dharma. The other sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, directly engaged in devotional service, and thus they had no need to execute the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Om Adnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Abhidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Badan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I bow down to all the assembled Vaishnavas, especially my seniors, Savas Prabhu and Archita Prabhu and all the Prabhupada disciples, Matajis. So before we speak on the system of Varnashram, it's something we have to understand that it's an institution that is created by Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu himself. As Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varna Maya Srishtam. So it's the system that is being personally established by Krishna. It's not man concocted institution. And this is something that we can find anywhere, these varnas and the ashramas. The basic idea that we all have, that brahmanas are supposed to be very intelligent. They are supposed to be the teachers class, the people who like to teach, especially the spiritual science. And they're focused on the spiritual knowledge, and they're focused on giving that knowledge to all the other people who do not possess that knowledge. So brahmanas are considered like the head of the society. Similarly, because there is a land, there has to be people who are the protectors of the land. Just like in any country we see there is army. What is the need of the army? Because there will always be some miscreants, some people who want to create some nuisance. So to protect the land, we need Kshatriyas, the administrative class of people. So they are the protectors. Just like when somebody is attacking the body, we use our hands to defend ourselves, or if you want to attack back, we need the hands. So that's why Kshatriyas are compared to the hands. Also now the hands, then there is belly that needs to be fed. So people are working and you ask anyone, why do you work so hard? They say that, oh, it's for the belly. Ultimately, it's for the belly. So the belly is what moves the world. So the Vaishyas, the people who are mercantile, they are compared to the belly because they are running the businesses, they are doing all the trades, dealing with finances. So that's why they are compared to the belly. And now the entire body cannot function unless and until there are legs. If you want to move from one place to another, the head cannot say that, okay, today I'll move the body. Now we'll walk on the head. It's not possible. And it's not even that convenient to walk on the hands or the belly. It's not possible. So the legs are very important. And the legs are compared to Shudras. The Shudra class, they are the ones that are doing the labor work. And they are serving all the superior varnas. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely describes that these varnas are not supposed to be somebody's inferior, somebody's superior. Like Srila Prabhupada gives that example. Even in India, Brahmanas are given respect. They are called Panditji. How are you, Panditji? When they talk while walking on the street. If you come by, somebody who is a Vaishya, then he is referred to as Serji. Like, oh, you are like a millionaire. You are like a big, rich, wealthy guy. So Serji or Shudra is called Chaudhary, or there are different terminologies which are respectful, and Srila Prabhupada mentions that everything is important in this society, and you cannot escape this. In any society you find this. If you go to a company, at the gate you see there is a security with a gun, right? That is Kshatriya. Even if you don't call him that, but we have guards, we have security. They're supposed to be the protectors. They're Kshatriya class. When you go inside the company, you see some people are dealing with the finances. They're working on the money. How much should we charge for a particular project? There will be somebody who is dealing with all the finances. In this quarter, how much money we made. Then based on that, we have to strategize for the next quarter. So that these people are, they are dealing with the finances and stuff. They're Vaishyas. They're existent. Some people are there who are, really, really smart people who are working on different things. They're very smart. They're building something. So there are also, there is Brahmanas, there are Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. When you go, you see somebody's cleaning the floor. Somebody has to clean it. Somebody is, janitor. Somebody is doing this type of work, that type of work. So these divisions are there in the society, whether we accept it or not. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he came to America, and in the beginning, nothing was working. He was trying to push onto this movement. He wanted to establish the movement of Krishna consciousness. But in the beginning, there was not much help. So when Prabhupada was talking to another Indian gentleman, that he said that, Swamiji, what are you looking for in this country? What are you exactly looking for? Srila Prabhupada said, I am looking for Brahmanas. And then this person, he was confused. He said that, aren't you looking at the wrong place? Because this is America. You're not going to find Brahmanas here. To find Brahmanas, you have to go to India. You'll find a lot of Brahmanas there. So Prabhupada said that is external. Somebody is born in Brahman family, that is external. There will be a lot of Brahmanas you find. But even in America, the people are there who are very inquisitive. People are asking, what is the goal of life? People are thinking something superior to bodily consciousness. So I'm looking for such people, because they are, even though, apparently they are in the body that is not Brahmanical, they may not have a Brahman thread, but still they are consciously on the platform of consciousness, they are on the platform of Brahmanas. So Prabhupada said, I'm looking for such people. So here, basically coming to this purport, Srila Prabhupada is stressing on how the Varnashram is supposed to move. It is something that moves the society. So in the beginning of the creation, when Lord Brahma is creating, that creation is needed so that the world will start functioning. Why the world needs to be functioning? Because there are so many millions of living entities, they are in susupti, they are in deep sleep. They have desires within their heart, especially the desires of sense enjoyment. They are not pure devotees, so they cannot be placed in the spiritual world. And at the same time, they are not that abominable. They have desires. So those desires can be fulfilled only when these living entities get material body. Without body, the desires will just be there. So all the millions of living entities who are in susupti, they need to be given the bodies. Now, the original, if you see this entire material world like a company, who is the owner of this company? Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Mayayat Ya Srijatyada. Mahavishnu is the original, the owner of the entire material creation. But now, because he wants to give the chance of reformation to all these sleeping souls, he has to start this company. Now then he has to first find the CEO. Now who is the CEO of this company? Is like Lord Brahma. He is the first created being. And he is the chief executing officer. He is the most intelligent. Now when Lord Brahma has appeared, now CEO does not do all the dirty work. That is like if somebody says like, how many people in your company? No, it's just me. I am the CEO and only I work everything. That's not possible. So now Brahma has this big task of getting this company moving. The company of material world has to move. That movement will happen only when it is populated. That's why you see in the previous verses, Lord Brahma is very keen for someone to get married and start populating, creating population. But the Kumaras, they denied. And Brahma felt hurt that I am the father, I am supposed to be followed and should be, blindly followed. Like Prabhupada also mentions in another purport that the spiritual master and the father, if they give some instruction, one must immediately comply by saying, yes sir, immediately, no questions asked. So Lord Brahma feels that what kind of sons are these? They're saying no to me. So next is when Swayambhu Manu and then has appeared. He's a really great personality. And then Lord Brahma also got him married. Shatarupa is his wife. Now they both have this task that is given by Brahma. And that's why we see that Lord Brahma is giving him this task that, since you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Now this is the task. Rule the world in persons of the principles of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus worship the Lord by performances of yajna. So this is the instruction that is given. That's why Srila Prabhupada gives this very important, he stresses on the fact that Varnashram is a system, but at the same time that is not the goal of life. And further, Prabhupada says, the devotional service is the goal of life. Varnashram is like an institution. It's like somebody is going to school, right? A student has been enrolled to go to school. He is going to school, so he gets the education, all the necessary things, so he becomes successful in life. So the goal of life in the material terms is to be successful, not going to school. Going to school is well and good. That will definitely assure the success. So that's why Srila Prabhupada gives this assurance that Varnashram is the system that is put together by Lord Krishna himself. It's Krishna's or Lord Vishnu's system. And that's why Prabhupada also quotes this verse from Vishnu Puran. Now this verse comes in a lot. It's a very famous word. Prabhupada quotes it a lot. Varnashramacharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnuraradhate Panta Nanyat Tattosha Karanam. The same verse was quoted by Ramanand Rai in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to the South India, had the darshan, when they faced each other, when Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came together, they had such awakening of ecstatic symptoms. And here we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Brahmana, he's a sannyasi. And Ramanand Rai is apparently Shudra. Now these two personalities have come together, and as soon as they see each other, they embrace each other, they are falling unconscious because of the ecstatic symptoms. The hair on their body, they're standing on their head. There is incessant flow of tears from their eyes. And the other Brahmanas, they're looking at them and like, what is going on? Doesn't look like Varnashram, doesn't look like a proper thing that a sannyasi on such a higher stature, he is embracing a Shudra, and they both are experiencing such a level of ecstasy. But Mahaprabhu knew that these are again external. The Shudra, somebody is so-called born in Shudra family, somebody is born in Brahman family, but what's the use if somebody is not inclined to devotional service, even if he is born in Brahmana family? Just like somebody is a very famous doctor in America, the best doctor of America, and he has a son. Just because he is the son of that doctor, the best doctor of America, are you going to let him operate on your body? Like right before giving you anesthesia, you ask, how are you, doctor? What's your name? And he says, I'm just the son of the best doctor. But you are like, oh, just because you are the son doesn't give you any right to operate on me. Where are your qualifications? What is your degree? Have you gone to school? Have you learned properly? Are you going to operate on me properly? So that's why Srila Prabhupada says that these varnas are not based on one's birth. They are based on one's intrinsic psychophysical nature. So when Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were talking to each other, that time Mahaprabhu said, tell me something. Tell me what is the goal of life. So that was the question asked by Mahaprabhu to Ramanand Rai. And Ramanand Rai quotes this verse. He says that this is the goal of life according to Vishnu Puran. Varnashram acharvata umatso. This is the nanyat tattosha karanam. When someone is following the rules and regulations of Varnashram, that's the best thing that satisfies Lord Vishnu. Mahaprabhu said, Eho bahya. This is external. Kinchu age kahar. That tell me something more. And Ramanand Rai is confused. Like, this is the best thing. Like even Bhagavatam says, Athapumbir dvijashreshta varnashrama vibhagasha swanutishtasya karmasya samsiddhim haritoshanam. Now Ramanand Rai says that, okay, you want to know more, then there is yat karoshi yadashnasi yat jihosi dadasi yat. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Krishna says, whatever you perform, whatever acts you do, and whatever you eat, whatever sacrifices you do, you offer to Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, Eho bahya. This is external. Kichu aage kahar. Tell more. Then Ramanand Rai is like, maybe Mahaprabhu means that this is still, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So he says that Jnana Shunya Bhakti is Sarvasar. So Mahaprabhu says, what is it? Tell me. So again he quotes from Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam raja ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. So he says that Krishna says, give up all the ideas of religiosity, all the so-called, this is my religion, I am supposed to follow only this path or that path. Give up all the so-called ideas and just surrender unto me, Krishna says, and I'll take care of you. I'll take care of all your sins. I'll take charge of your life. Mahaprabhu even rejected that. Mahaprabhu said, Eho Bhaiya. This is also external. And then Ramanand Rai is thinking, what more can we speak better than Bhagavad Gita? But this is the root verse of Sri Sampradaya. This is the topmost verse of Sri Sampradaya, and Mahaprabhu wants to know more. Then Ramanand Rai quotes about Sakhya Prema, being in friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the best. And then Mahaprabhu says, Eho Uttama. Now he is like, okay, now you are talking. Eho Uttama. But Aage kaha. He said, tell me more. Then this really something we have to understand. What Mahaprabhu is giving us is something that is not even spoken in the scriptures as such. Mahaprabhu is here to give us the love of Godhead, love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he even saying that Dasya Prem is also okay. Tell more. So Mahaprabhu's gift to the entire world is loving Krishna intimately. And then we know Ramanand Rai tells about Vatsalya Rasa Prem. How Nanda Maharaj is great, Yashoda Maya, they don't even care who is Krishna. They think Krishna is just my baby and I have to love him, feed him, take care of him. Then Mahaprabhu said, Eho Uttama, aage kaho. Now ultimately, Ramanand Rai says, Kanta Rasa Prem, Eho Uttam. Then, like loving conjugal relationship that Krishna shares with all the gopis and all his consorts in Dwarka. That is the ultimate. Now, above that, don't ask me. But Mahaprabhu says, this is perfect. What you spoke is perfect. Kinchu aage ka. Tell me the ultimate now. This is like you have almost come to the highest. And then we know Ramanand Rai says, among the gopis, the love of Srimati Radharani, that is the supreme. And then Mahaprabhu is completely satisfied. And then Mahaprabhu, he himself talks how Varnashram is just a system that needs to be followed. But the goal is not only Varnashram. The goal is to get out of the clutches of Maya and go back to the spiritual world. Just like there are a lot of crabs, if sometimes if you happen to see, the crabs that are supposed to be cooked, they're all put together in a big pot. And nobody even cares about, putting a lid on it. Why? Because the crabs, they make sure no one escapes. One crab tries to go and get out, the others will make sure that they pull him back. Then Prabhupada gave this example that we don't want to act like that. The goal of human life is to help each other escape. Just like Srila Prabhupada also said that ISKCON temples are not like a restaurant that you come and only enjoy it, nice prasad and just enjoy. No. The goal has to be kept in mind very distinctly. The goal is the most important thing. So, Prabhupada mentions, just like the crabs never escape because they pull each other, we should not be following that. Rather, we should help each other through the process of Varnashram. It helps everyone. Whatever your psychophysical nature is, you will be helped. And even Varnashram can be put into Krishna's devotional service. Even the main goal is to serve Krishna. And that we see in the pastimes of Krishna, that Krishna, whenever he wanted to go steal some butter, so he is on a mission. But while going, he has a friend, Madhumangal. He's Bhattu, he's born Brahmana. He has a big, nice thread, big pot belly. And he is very proud to be a Brahmana. And all others are Vaishya, Krishna and all the friends. So when Krishna is about to go to steal butter, he has his army ready. Some monkeys are also there. And then he says, Madhu, I need help from you. I just want to touch you, bow you down to you and ask for blessing. Just give me blessing that I will become successful in my endeavor. So Madhu Mangala asks, what is your endeavor? Because I am a Brahmana. When I give some blessing, it is going to come true. Then Krishna says, now because you are asking, I have to tell you. Because I cannot lie to a Brahmana. I was trying to avoid telling you. We are actually going to steal butter from the house of this particular gopi. And Madhu Mangal says, what? Krishna, stealing is crime. Stealing is sinful. You cannot steal. And you're asking, you just asked my blessing. I just gave you my blessing. And I cannot take it back as well. So Krishna says, that's fine. And if you come with me, then we will also feed you. So we'll get that benefit of feeding the Brahmana. Just because you guys will get some benefit by feeding me, I will come. So Madhu Mangal comes, and then Krishna, we know that how Krishna, they make a pile and then they climb on one another, ultimately get to the butter pots. They bring the pots down and they're eating the butter. Everybody is so happy, and the gopi arrives. But the time the gopi is almost close, Krishna pushes Madhu Mangal towards her. And Madhu Mangal comes first in front of her eyes, and as soon as she sees a Brahmana, she bows down. Oh, Brahman Dev. She bows down, and as soon as she is bowing down, all the friends of Krishna, including Krishna, they run. And then the gopi gets up. And she cannot even suspect Madhu Mangal because he is Brahmana. So Madhu Mangal later on comes and says, Krishna, because of you, I have to go through so many troubles. I am a Brahmana. You have to respect that. So Krishna says that this is the ultimate fruit of your Brahmanical culture. Whatever Brahmanism you have, the fruit is that you are serving me. You are applying it in my service. You are helping me. Actually, you are the most important asset of our team. Because of your blessing, I can enter. And because of your blessing only, I can come out, without being caught. So, ultimate aim of Varnashram, we can understand, is to please the Supreme Personality of God. And that is the goal, to attain love of Krishna. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anybody has one question we can take? Ravindranath Prabhu.
In the purport, it's mentioned how since the Kumaras were directly engaged in devotional service, there was no need for them to perform varnashrama. Could you explain that?
See, some personalities, if varnashram becomes very difficult or cumbersome to follow the rules of varnashram, if it comes in between their service to Krishna, then you can reject varnashram. For example, gopis, when they heard the flute sound of Krishna in the middle of the night, they immediately got up and they dressed so fast, and it is explained sometimes they didn't even know what they are putting on, and they were so excited to meet Krishna, and they left their house in the middle of the night. And in that text it is mentioned that gopis apparently did not follow the strict rule of varnashram. Whereas according to varnashram, the women are not supposed to go like that. They're supposed to be completely chaste to the husband. They cannot go out to see another man. But Rupa Goswami, how beautifully he puts it together, that he says that Krishna is the ultimate husband of everyone. And the word pati is used. Pati actually means maintainer. So Krishna is husband of everyone, meaning even somebody may say, oh, I am a man, how can Krishna be my husband? But these bodies are just temporary. On the spiritual platform, there is the enjoyer and the enjoyed. Only two platforms are there. Just like in the material world, there is man, woman. In the spiritual world, it is enjoyer and enjoyed. So Rupa Goswami Pad writes this very beautifully, that apparently gopis did not follow Varnashram rule, but they fulfilled the goal. The goal is to satisfy Krishna. The goal is to please Krishna. And in that fashion, they perfected their life. And Jiva Goswami Pad, he further elaborates. He says that suppose there is a husband and wife, and the husband is going out on a business meeting. He's going to come back in after 1 month. And the wife is stressed out that we have never been separated. And I take so much happiness, pleasure in serving you. Now what will I do? Once you're gone, I have nothing to do. So the husband, he creates a statue of himself. And he says that you talk to the statue. You want to, if you miss me so much, whatever service you want to render, you render to the statue. So Jiva Goswami Pad says that the husband has gone away, but he has given a statue to the wife. Now after 1 month, husband comes and he's knocking on the door. But the wife is engaged worshipping the statue. Right now she is literally putting a boga. She's about to feed the husband, the statue. And she is thinking that my husband has given me a strict instruction that I have to worship him through the statue. And I'm doing that. And the husband is knocking on the door. Like, what's going on inside? Now what should be done? The wife, what is the ideal thing for the wife to do? The best thing is she should give up the idea of the statue, because the real husband is knocking on the door. So that's why it's very important to understand that gopis realized that all our family, children, their husband, they are like the statue given by Krishna, for worshipping him through them. But when Krishna himself, the real maintainer, the real enjoyer, is calling, he is knocking on the door. Actually, he is playing the flute. So gopis immediately went to the real husband. So that's how we understand. Varnashram is external. Externally, it uplifts everyone. Somebody who is very, very low class, he has abominable desires in his heart. So such a person, they're given Shudra status. But by working hard, their minds are completely engaged. And then they can give up that sinful tendencies and they can uplift themselves. So Varnashram is for everyone. Everyone gets uplifted in this process. But if Varnashram becomes a hurdle, like a blockage for serving Krishna, then it can be given up. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is pointing. Okay, so we'll stop here. Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Aur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.